Hey guys, I'm here, just running around like crazy, as always. How's it going? How's everybody's Monday? I am checking out chat now. Can everyone hear and see me now? All right. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Love Muffin. Hey, Johns. You see, yes, y'all can hear me good. Hey, Heather, I'm finally making a live. Thank you, Jen, for all you do. I'm taking my exam for the 4th time on 6/17. Coming up 3 more weeks. Good luck. I'm looking for opinions regarding to the HitPix book, AMA or AHEMA. Jen, it depends on which certification you're taking. If you're taking a HEMA, get their version. If you're taking AAPC certificate, get AAPC's version. Hey, Gupta. Hey, Vanessa. I saw a couple of people post that they got their cups. I'm hoping more people got cups and things. Hey, Tish. Hey, Virginia. She's taking hers on 6/10. 2 more weeks away. Be sure and build up your speed on those exam questions. 104 hours is no joke. It's a lot. And it's fast. Time flies. I had an eye appointment today, so I finally got that done. What else did we have going on today? Oh yeah, we had to go finish up the sale of my son's car and get a money draft deposited, which you can't cash. You have to just deposit it, which is really weird. I don't know. Banking is so weird to me. And then tomorrow, Travis has a doctor's appointment in Kingman. And I got to get the boys' haircuts because they're graduating on Wednesday night. So there won't be a live on Wednesday night because boys have graduation. And I have to take care of getting their outfit picked out tomorrow after Travis's doctor appointment. So going to be a busy next 2 days. Thursday, what was going on? Oh, we're putting tint on the new car for my son. But other than that, I should be able to go live on Thursday to make up for not being able to go live on Wednesday. Journey concert was great. I loved it. I was grumbling about having to go. Was not happy to have to be there in a crowd full of people. But my seats ended up being in the very end of an aisle. Not that I sat down any. I stood up and sang every song with them, so I had a great time. I thought it was just lovely. I grew up with Journey. My mom used to play their records incessantly on the weekends. All good. Thank you, Vanessa. I'm glad you got yours. All the best to everybody that's testing soon. Yes, yes, yes. I'm tired of taking it, and I don't blame you, Heather. Yep, they are graduating junior high and moving on to high school. It's hard, Deep. It's crazy. This week I kept texting Twinkle like, I've got this to do today. I've got this to do tomorrow. I've got this to do next day. And she's like, just cancel the week. And I'm like, there's no way. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I feel like I went outside without my pants on. If I haven't taught my lessons on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I can't go without it. I'm not a great singer. No way. I am so out of tune. It's awful. Any questions before we get started? I saw an email or a message or a text, I don't know, from somebody somewhere on my phone that asked me to do modifiers tonight, and I did not have enough time to prep that into what I was going to do tonight. I just ran out of time. But I will get modifiers. I have a modifier exam I could bring up if we get through with the questions that I've already prepped for tonight, but I did not get done with prepping those. You heard me singing at the concert. Oh, it was bad. It was terrible. You're taking yours on Monday? Best of luck. Best of luck. Just, you're going to be doing it online. So it's going to be very frustrating when you try to log on, try to speak to your proctor. They're going to have you moving the camera around. You're going to be all flustered. But the cool thing is that your questions are going to be kind of bundled, and you'll get to go into each bundle and do like all Integumentary. And then you'll move on and then finish that bundle and move on to musculoskeletal. So they're all bundled on the online exam, which is kind of cool. I thought the online exam was much easier and more straightforward. And a lot of people are echoing that it was easier than the in-person printed exam. So that's cool. Just know you're going to be frazzled when you first start. Maybe you want to go to the anatomy questions or something and do something easier for you until you get settled, and then go to the code questions. But irregardless, you know what to do. Go straight to the answers first. Keep a little birdie on your shoulder. Look up the differences between those answers first, and only those differences is what you search the question for. Clear your headers before your descriptors, meaning, are they new patient? Are they established? That's your headers for all of the E&M area. Are you a hospital patient? Are you a consult patient? Are you an observation patient? What are those headers before you worry about how many minutes or what the risk level was? Clear those headers first. In like the digestive system, was I doing something that was flexible, or am I doing something that's rigid? Those are a nice header to look for first before you worry about the individual code descriptors. Clear those headers first, then clear those descriptors. If you start reading the questions from beginning to end, try to stop yourself. Hey, Anointed. Somebody say Anointed was in here. Good to see you. Dreading the holidays starting. I don't know how I shall study. I know my two demons are going to be home for the summer. I'm trying to push them out the door to get jobs. They're 14. I'm like, y'all could be working at, that's when I started working. I worked weekends down at Pickwick Lake, if you want to look that up on the map, in the Tennessee area. I compounded sailboats on the weekends. So I'd put this wax stuff on them and then wax it off. I also worked in an architecture's firm making blueprints. those big, huge pages of the blueprints of buildings. I made those. But that was my first jobs when I was 14, the summer I was 14. I was going to have the boys work at Boys and Girls Club. They have a youth program where they do a leadership program, but they are not doing it this year. And I thought, I waited all year long, looked for the update, finally called Boys and Girls Club, and they've cut that benefit, of course. Read answers first. Yep. Keep me as a little birdie on your shoulder for sure. I like having the exam in front of me so I can write it out and cross it out too. I know a lot of people like that, but consider if you've failed 4 times in a row, maybe taking it in person, you might want to consider when you do buy your next 2 attempts, because I recommend you buying 2 at a time, consider taking that 5th one online and just see if the exam ends up being a lot easier for you and you pass. I know you're going to lose the function of being able to cross out answers, and you'll have to keep the answers in your head straight, but I'm telling you that exam is easier online. At least it was for me. The questions were shorter, more direct, to the point. There wasn't a lot of area or room in there for a lot of propaganda in the question that got you confused. I recommend the 5th time you take it, if you're one of those hard-pressed, really wanting to take it in person, try it there. See if your 5th time you don't pass online. If you don't, then ignore me and go back to your 6th attempt being in person, of course. But I think it's worth a shot if you've got multiple failures at the in-person. I was taking a practice test today and talking aloud all through it. Answers first, do this, I know. Yep. Yeah, Amanda, I think it is. I think there's CCS is catching up. If not, maybe even passing on some of their marketing to employers for getting, I went and looked, and last year when I looked on Indeed, CPC far outranked remote jobs than CCS search did. But this year I looked just this month, and now CCS on Indeed, that's the only one I looked at, and I only looked for remote jobs anywhere in the United States, and that came up with more job offers. Now, I don't know if any of them are legit offers, because Indeed can get heavy with a bunch of spam or something, but I think they're running pretty neck to neck. I think if always having multiple certificates is always better. AAPC claims that if you have 2 of them, you increase your pay rate by $10,000 a year. I see no problem with it at all. And PCS is not that hard, and it's not such a huge focus on the exam where it's going to be like detrimental if you don't know a lot about it. I think knowing just the basics about it, which I do cover some of those questions in my lives, and I have a room in our Discord group that's just for CCS practice questions, and I put all my PCS practice questions in there for you guys to practice on. I think that you've got plenty of study tips and tools around to help out with that. On musculoskeletal, not yet for this year. I do not have those done yet. And I don't have cardiology done yet. And I'm still working on digestion. Life has just been super busy for me. I'm sorry. What do CRC do? CRCs are risk adjusters. They use the ICD-10 book, and they take patients and give them a code, a value code based off their diagnosis. So a patient who has an amputated arm or leg needs more services than a patient who has not lost any arms or leg. Hold on. What, Travis?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to ask you something. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll ask you. Well, can you find out if McDonald's delivers?
Can I find out if McDonald's delivers? I can't, not with all that leftover pizza in the refrigerator you just got last night. Papa John's is calling your name. Go warm it up. Okay, so where were we? Diagnosis codes are given a value base. So you want to organize your population of patients based on the severity of their limitations or diagnoses. So if you have a bunch of heart transplant patients, you want to know who they are so that you can get them additional benefits. And they're going to be the more costly of your patients. So what risk adjusting is sorting your population by diagnosing. And those risk adjustment scores go away every January 1st. Every limb grows back on every single patient. Every heart transplant disappears on every single patient come January 1st. Every single patient is healthy. The only thing that carries over from year to year is a patient's age and maybe their racial demographics. And you do get a code benefit based off age. Like they get a little bit more money for somebody patient age 52 like myself versus a 35-year-old. There's a little bit of increase just based off age. And that's the only thing that carries over from year to year to the health plans. Health plans consider every patient completely healed and better by January 1st. And that means, and that's why your doctor's office is always trying to get you in every year, once a year, to cover you and get all your diagnoses down again, because we can update and notify the health plan, okay, this patient has an amputated leg still. It still hasn't grown back. They don't have any toes. We still need to get them prosthetics. They're still diabetic. They're still taking, they're still going for dialysis treatment, all that stuff. We have to re-diagnose them every single year starting in January to get the added benefit of extra money from the health plans to say they're a sicker patient and we need to take care of them. The model is from California, where I work, and we get a stipend for every Blue Cross Blue Shield patient we take care of. Okay, like $1.65 per patient. We might get 65,000 patients in our medical group, and we're paid $1 per patient of Blue Cross Blue Shield. But if we can increase their risk adjustment from $1 to $3 based off their sickest diagnoses, we can get $3 a month for 60,000 patients versus $1 a month. So you want to get those patients in, you want to get them correctly diagnosed. And a lot of the diagnoses, if you use the non-specific diagnosis codes that end in 9, they are not risk adjusted at all. Only the ones that go out to the 6th and 7th digit are the ones that are risk adjusted that you can get extra money for. So if you just say somebody's type 2 diabetic, unspecified, we get no money for that. But if you say they are type 2 diabetic with diabetic retinopathy or neuropathy or some sort of kidney CKD, we're getting increased money for that. So that will be Your job as a coder is to make sure that when your doctor picks that non-specific code, but you see that they are throwing ketones in their urinalyses and they're getting cataract surgery for their eyes, you know they've got diabetic retinopathy. You know you need to get back to your doctor and say, hey, is this diagnosis correct, or should we consider one of these other from this list over here on this patient? And remind them not to pick unspecified codes. I stop all their claims and send them back to them and won't let them forward them and get them out of their inbox until they fix them, is what I do. But your groups may not be that harsh on them. But that's what CRC is. Can I explain? Let's see. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Yes. Thank you. Anyone taking their person exam, remember, it takes time to bubble in the answers too. Yep, that's right. Be sure and take you a fat leaded pencil. Don't take no little push pencil. What are those? Mechanical pencils? Don't take those. All right. What? This is what I was wondering, online or in person. Awesome. And what happened? Anointed did something. Aw, you're back to watching my YouTube videos. All right. Yep, work on speed. Leftover food ends up being consumed by all adults always. Must. My children think they get new, updated, fresh food daily. Oh my gosh. Okay. Explain code 63005. Can I order McDonald's? Child. All right. 63005 17. Okay. And 42. Okay, they're all lumbar, but they're all children codes. We can't do anything with the child code. Can't do a thing with those codes. 63005 is nothing. 63017 is nothing. 63042 is nothing. You have to go to mama. So 63005 is a lunectomy, explore and decompress of the spinal cord or of the CE. It has no face, no forma, and no deck, and it can be for 1 to 2 segments, but it is of the lumbar. So it's a lumpectomy, explore of the spinal cord or the CE. It has no face, no forma, no dice. Okay. And then the 6307 is nothing, but its mama code is 15. Then that lets us know that the 17 is a lunectomy without all that. It's with the spinal. But this one is for more than 2 vertebrae. So if we're up at the top, the 05 is only for 1 to 2 segments, where the 17 is for more than 2 segments. So if we were going to pick 05, we would be lumbar and we would be 1 to 2 segments. If we were going to pick 63017, we're going to be picking 3 to 4 segments. That's your one big, huge difference between those. And it's the same thing for 15, 16, and 17. Those codes are all for 3+ segments, where 6301, 001, 003, 005, and 011 are all for only 1 segments. So that's your main header. If you had a exam question where these answers that she gave us were possible answers, like answer A was 005, answer B was the 63016, and whatever C and D is, they're just out of whack, nowhere near a lunectomy. The first thing you would clear is how many segments were done. Was it 1 to 2 or 3+? That would clear you to get you down to the difference between the code descriptors, which this is just thoracic. Just make sure you're lumbar or thoracic or whatever you were doing. 17 was the lumbar, not thoracic. Yeah. Does that help? And then if we go over to your 42, the 63042, this one is a completely different mama code. This is only half of a removal or a re-explore, because look at the difference in the mama code and how it's spelled. If you look at 63040, it's LAMIN and then your OTOMY. If you look at your mama codes on the other ones that you were looking at, the 63001 and the 63015, that's got the ECT. And we were removing a whole segment. This one is only a half removal. It's hemi, half a spear, half of it. This one also includes the face, the foramen, and an excision, where the other two do not include any face, foramen, or discectomy. Yeah, no, y'all put your questions in again if I didn't miss it, if I missed something. That was Travis, my middle child. I passed my exam first try May 6th. I just wanted to thank you for all your help. Laureen, thank you so much for coming back to let me know. Congratulations. That is awesome. So happy to hear. First time go around. That's crazy. Did you take it in person or online? Good job. And sorry if I'm putting my question again so that Jen can say it. Hi. Medicine section. Are there one word that you would suggest could write next to psychotherapy versus psychotherapy for crisis? Can you give me some CPT codes, Veronica? Yeah. So, yeah, let's see. So she's talking about, the original question here was on these, what's the difference between this lumbar code 63005 and this one 63007, which is way down here. And the difference is you can't look at that particular code at all because that code is a child code. You have to look at their mamas and then see what their differences are here. The only differences in these CPT code descriptors is the amount of segments that are being removed. This whole section of codes is only good for 1 to 2 segments being removed. This whole section, from the 15 to the 17, is for 3+ segments being removed. Her other question, the other code in her question was this lumbar, which is the 63042. Well, that has a different mama compared to the other ones, where the lunectomy is spelt totally different. We take out part of that word. It's spelt totally different from those other two that we were just looking at. And it also includes the face, the foramen, and an excision, where the other ones over there, those other two, their mamas did not include any of these. It specifically says no. So this one's only removing half, not an entire segment, but just half. And you just divide it up on this one's cervical, this one's lumbar, and then each additional cervical is done here, and each additional lumbar is done here. So each additional has its own little add-on code. Medicine, what section is she talking about back here in psychotherapy? I don't have any of that worked up yet, but if I knew what codes, okay, 908 34 34, okay. And then the other one was 90839. Oh, the differences between the crisis and the other one. Okay, it's going to be up here in your guideline. For crisis is an urgent assessment, and history of a crisis state or mental exam and disposition. The treatment includes mobilization of resources to diffuse the crisis, to restore safety, and intervention. That means they may have to mobilize people to go to a location to help a patient. The presenting problem is life-threatening and or complex and needs immediate attention due to high distress. Now over here, when you're looking for this psychotherapy, where's she doing? 3-4 for 45 minutes. We can look at our definition for that one right here, which is just the treatment of a mental illness with behavioral disturbances by a physician or qualified, blah, 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 with therapeutic communications, attempt to alleviate emotional disturbances, reverse and change manipulative patterns, but it's all within the grasp of therapeutic communication. We're not mobilizing activities to go intervene immediately. This is more of a therapeutic communication. So that is your differences. If they are having to rush to some patient for immediate care, it's going to be here. If they are not, and they're doing it in a communicative therapeutic session, it'll be over here. I hope that helps. Thank you, Twinkle. She's gifting away some membership if anybody's not already a member. I hope that helps you guys. I was going to get out a piece of paper and see if I can't draw out some of that for that lumbar stuff, but I don't know. I hope that helped answer their question. Did they get that question answered right? So 63012, the mama. Let's see. Did I get her right? 63012. 63012 is its own mama code. It has no child code, so it's just a single bachelor, actually. We probably wouldn't consider that one a mama. A bachelor or bachelorette, whatever you want to call her. I don't know. She's single. She's floating out there without any children right now. And just pay attention to the way the words are spelt. They're the same. This one's with removal. This one's with exploring and decompression of the spinal cord. But this one is with the removal. And what they're going to remove is an abnormal faucet. So this one's explore and this one's explore. Those two mamas and everything underneath them are all exploring. Because mama is inside of each one of these child until you get to that semicolon. The only thing that's different between this code 01 and 03, and carry it down and put it here. But mama is everything. Child is everything that mama is to a semicolon. Where the semicolon starts is where mama's different. Mama's only different just because mama is cervical. Where her child is thoracic, and her child is lumbar here, and her child is sacral here. But each one of these codes includes everything mama is, down to a semicolon. This one has no child. She's totally different, and she's in the middle of two that are essentially the same. Kind of interesting, except for this bundle is 1 to 2 segments, and this bundle is 3+ segments. This one is in the middle, but it's a removal, which these are exploring and decompressing. And they have no fossa, no forma, no disc. I know. Twinkle, are you happy to see Anointed? Can you repeat what you said about doing the assessments on CMS website? Yes, I can. Let me find a website here. Go. Where am I at? Am I here? Okay. I gotta find my list here. Where's my list of links? Links. Oh, you can too find links. Oops, link page. I didn't give it a plural. That's why. All right. CMS right here. Copy. And back here. I'm gonna post this link in chat. Bring this back up while I'm getting there. So there's the link if you guys want to go there. Right here is the website when you get into that link. These available courses do change, so come back monthly and check them out from time to time. The one that I take all the time for work is this one, Combating Fraud and Abuse, or Medicare Fraud. I think it's this one. This one right here. Yeah, because that one's 88 minutes. So all it is a simple little course. You type your name in, and when you finish, you'll get a certificate with your name printed exactly how you do right here. and it'll be printed on your certificate, which you can add to your stuff. So it gives you an introduction. It gives you, and then lets you take all the little courses. Yep. And then we can go here, and then here. What I need for training. I probably got in the wrong spot. I did. And then the next part. There we go. What is fraud and abuse? You can either print the lesson or you can go through all 21 pages right here. It describes what each one is, what they are, what the fine is. Oh, there was an example too you could look at if you wanted to. You could see what the penalties are. Just little tabby sheets, examples of what fraud is, examples of what waste is, examples of what abuse is. But anyway, you go through all 21 pages if you want to do all that. And then you take the exam at the very end, and then you answer your questions right here. Which of these requires intent to get paid and knowing your action was wrong? Is that fraud, abuse, or waste? You answer your questions, hit submit. If you answer all of them right, then you will get a certificate that'll pop up that you can print as a PDF and attach to your resume saying you've already done this course and you have that certificate. I recommend that one, of course. There was grievances and appeals, SNF billing, that's for skilled nursing facilities, diagnosis coding for ICD-10. Anybody wanting to take risk adjustment or even just CPC, you could do this one and add that course and certificate to your name. Let's see, the world of Medicare. The language assessment is just trying to collect a language assessment and put it in the EHR for people so that they can collect that data and be sending it to the World Health Organization. Data validation for C&D is going to be more risk adjustment. Here's another one for procedure coding for anybody going to do CCS. They have a procedure coding for PCS2 right here, and it's an hour long. Just work at your own pace, free course, and you'll get a certificate at the end. So you'll learn all the structures and format. That's pretty cool. But yes, this is all free. You could even get these certificates for the grievances and appeals, which a lot of doctors' offices need help filling out those. Absolutely. They used to have a HIPAA one. It was really popular with the medical groups that they wanted you to do, but it looks like they took that one down, which is fine. At least they have something new. I really like the diagnosis one and the PCS one. Those are cool. But yeah, they're free, and you can add those certificates straight to your resume. And you've got the link there. And you can retake the exam as many times as you need to pass it. You can Google the answers. It's not that hard. I mean, but you can take it very seriously and learn from it. Absolutely. All right. Let me get back to my Word document for tonight. And get rid of that. Maybe. No. That. Yeah. Let me see where chat is. Who won that one? Suzette did. Hello, Vanessa. Here's the link in chat for where those are located. Again, thank you, Anointed, for the super chat. You are awesome. You're so sweet. Thank you for the support for the stream. Aw, thank you, Dee Dee. You too? Oh my goodness. You guys are so awesome. Oh, speaking of Twinkle, by the way, we didn't know what we were doing. I set up a system where I was sending emails to Twinkle and she was answering them. And I swear I've been seeing her answer them for a year now. And we figured out that we had a glitch in our little system, and the emails that I thought that she was sending got hung up and didn't go out. So I thought everybody's emails were getting answered, and she did too. But we figured out, no, nobody got answered. So anyway, we fixed that now, and we've sent people their emails and their replies yesterday that we didn't know weren't going where they were supposed to. And anyway, so if you got a reply from a year ago yesterday, you know why. It wasn't intentional. We didn't mean to, but we tried. Anyway. That's funny. I swear. We've been working as a team, but we've been spinning our wheels. But it's just one of those things. Systems don't speak to each other, and you have to double check. And it's crazy how unsophisticated technology can be sometimes. It's nothing we did wrong. It's just silliness. I think a man invented it. I'm going to blame it on the man. They beat HIPAA down like a dead horse. They do. I just hate taking the classes over them, so it's really nice to have it where it's online and I can just answer it and get that certificate and I don't have to attend any class. So I really liked it when it was there. Hey, Brittany, good to see you. We're sending emails now. I know technology is, and we have been scared to death to tell my IT tech guy, my oldest son, because if he knew what we had done, he'd probably, be yelling at us for a month about what we did. But I mean, geez, it made sense to us. Anyway, eventually the auditor caught on, and I figured, well, I don't think this is working. I don't know. So we ended up auditing it and figured out, oh yeah, that's not working. Oh well, we tried. I swear we've been trying to get the emails done. But yeah. All right. We have a little matchy to make our CCS ladies feel at home. On the end of their exam, they have 10 words and 10 definitions, and they have to match them. So let's see how well we can do with this one. This is integumentary anatomy stuff. So let's see. I have dermis, epidermis, subcute, IND, that's incision and drainage. Abscesses, cyst, debridement, pairing, biopsies, and shaving. Anybody can guess what number 1 is? Let's see. Localized collection of pus. No, that's not our dermis. Second layer of skin holding blood and vessels.
Mother,
Child.
your mom wants you to DoorDash Panda. I'm not doing this because I'm hungry. It's because she's in here. She wants something.
You are a manipulative little Sagittarius. I swear to Bob.
I didn't manipulate nothing.
Does she want the same thing as always?
You want the same, Grandma? You want the same thing from Hedis versus yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I gotta take a break while I order my mother Panda Express to the house. I can't deny my 70-year-old mama anything. She gets whatever she wishes. But I know my child had something to do with that. Okay, where am I at? Swear to Bob. That child. All right, what have y'all got for dermis? Y'all keep talking in chat and I'll keep popping in on here. Y'all think D is dermis, outer layer of the skin? That's dermis? What's epidermis? Epi, it means on top. I think this would be B, don't you think? What's dermis? What's the answer to number 1? I know, isn't he? He's a Sagittarius, Jody. I swear to Bob. Oh my gosh, he's so bad. They get what they want. They know exactly how to work the system. All right, we want that. We want that. And we want that. Okay, and then I need one of these. And I need that. I need that, and then I need one more. Okay, orders placed. Oh my gosh. 1 is B. 1 is B. I can't. We got 1 is B. 2 is D. Outer layer of the skin. Yep. And then we got B is our second layer with our hair and stuff. Hair sits on top. All right, subcutaneous level is, you can tell I haven't done this yet. Let's see, what's number 3 and 4? Subcutaneous. Removal of small, no. Localized collection, no. Horizontal transverse, no. Cleansing, no. To cut and withdraw, no. Removal, no. Tissue sub-Q. Yeah, I like I too. Yeah, that makes sense. I, good. Who else? Who else is doing stuff? Twinkle giving away another membership. Girl. Yay. Awesome. Congrats, Jay. All right. Our I and D. Incision and drainage. Do we hit closed sac containing? No. Removal of thin layer? No. Cut and withdraw fluid? Maybe. It's poke, really, but yeah. I guess cut is okay. We like G. G sounds good to me. What about an abscess and a cyst? Those two. What do you guys think the answers are for 5 and 6? That'll be more challenging. What's a difference between an abscess and a cyst? Five is A, 6 is J, 4 is G, 5 is A, G, A, J, 6 is J, 6 is J, A, Shar, Amanda, 5 is A, 6, G, J, let's see, whoops, there we go. A, abscess, is a localized collection of pus that is turning this layer of tissue into mush is what it's doing. And so that is our abscess. Our cyst is a closed sac. Cyst is like a little ball. Y'all see enough of the pimple popper lady to know those. She'd be very proud of you guys. What about, this is going to be harder, number 8 and number 10. What's the answers to those two? Debridement diagnostics. To diagnose something, we know that's a biopsy. F, debridement. So then all we've got is E and H left. Which one is a horizontal or transverse removal of dermal tissue and epidermal lesions without full thickness excisions? Or H is a removal of a thin layer of skin by peeling or scraping? Paring and shaving. It's kind of a trick question because the answer can be E or H. And then the answer here can be H or E. So everybody was right on the last two. What is an example of a corn or a callus? Are we hyper? Are we lipoma, neva, or dermatoid cyst? What do you think? Good job, everybody. Everybody's got that one. A is correct. What about this one? A condition is a chronic abscessing and subsequent infections of the sweat gland. I thought I remembered somebody saying something about sweat gland being on their exam recently. I don't remember where I read that. Probably on the AAPC Facebook page or something, but that's why I grabbed this question. Folliculitis. Have we got another hyper? Have we got a milli? Or another H? Don't forget about your prefixes and your suffixes. Look for things that are similar. Similarities are sometimes helpful. Remember what you're looking for. The condition is a chronic abscessing and infection. Do you see any prefixes or suffixes that mean infection that might help you out? There you go. Yes, if you said D, you're correct. Correct. Good one to write down in your Integumentary book, just in case. All right, I got some E&M ones. I was doing the E&M course today. Some class I bought from AAPC, and so we had some interesting little examples that'll come up later, but I thought some of these were kind of cool. They're just going to look at this example here of a 40-year-old patient. They're a new patient who's evaluated for a contusion of the finger. The history and exam was performed. The diagnosis and management options for this contusion of the finger is minimal, limited, multiple, or extensive. What do you think the answer would be just for the diagnosis management, which is the first element of E&M now, which is the reason for the visit, right? How many problems are we addressing? So this is just a new way of them describing the first element. They called it a diagnosis and management options. So it sounded different. So things will be coming at you on the exam, and they might be spoken differently than the way I've said them. So I wanted to make sure y'all understood this is your first element of MDM, which is the number of problems. But they also can call it diagnosis and management. Number one element, problems, number of problems. Pretty easy example, but just want to make sure y'all knew the vocabulary of this one. Yeah, I like minimal. Data to review to provide services. The data is the second element of MDM, right? Only data available is the current information obtained during the visit today. Would the data be minimal, limited, moderate, or extensive? Same patient. We didn't have any historian telling us that, oh yeah, they always have this contusion forever, or they were grown or born with a congenital situation. There's no history being told. What do you think is the answer to this data for this current situation? Hey, Patrice, good to see you. Yep. We're still minimal to none. Yep. A. What about the risk? If we leave this finger contusion alone and didn't do anything, we didn't treat it, what's the risk for complications for the patient? Is the risk minimal to none, limited, moderate, or extensive? Hey, McWilliams. Hey, Rosalie. If we left a finger bruise, it's just a bruise, a contusion to a finger alone, and didn't give them any treatment, what's the risk of them having issues? Minimal to none. Yep. All three of those elements have been met to qualify this patient for what level of MDM? Are we straightforward, low, moderate, or high? Good night, Gupta. See you later. Darn work. I wish all of you could stay home and just learn with me. Yep, we are straightforward with this patient. Yep. Perfect. Then that means, what is our CPT code for this patient for today? You're welcome, Rosalie. I know, go-kart. Am I boring you to tears? Are we I know, wouldn't it be great? I'd love to win one of those Powerballs and just have all that money. And if you join Jen's study sessions, then you get free salary or whatever till you pass your CPC, and then, that would be a fun way. So I think education should be free. That's why I teach free. I try my best to do 3 nights a week, every week, just to teach for free. I think education should be free for everybody. It should be. And if you wanted to become a doctor, if you wanted to become a coder, if you wanted to be able to do whatever, as a whole, our population, we should be able to support your endeavor. Because we set you loose at 18 with no resources and no job and no education and expect you to support the community. Well, that's harsh. If we wanted great community, then we should support their dreams and get them to where they have the education they want and the job that they want to do. So I'm all for supporting people that want to go to school. They should have free education and some sort of income for doing it. But that's just me. Well, maybe one of these days I'll win the lotto and be able to do that for people. That would be awesome. But for now, I will support you if you've taken your CPC exams so many times and you just can't afford another $399 or whatever to attempt it 2 more times, and it's devastating for you and your family to face that bill. Y'all let me know. Find a way to let me know, and I will gather our forces. We'll find a way to support and get you 2 more attempts. We will do something for those in need. Yes, indeed. This one will be, since it was a new patient, I should have just left the 0 in, but I couldn't remember at this point when I was writing these questions if it was a new or established patient, so that's why I put the X in there. But yes, A is the answer. All right, here's another example. Thank you, Rosh. Oh, y'all are a blessing to me. I have so much fun. Me too, Deep. I mean, if we don't take care of everybody as a community, how can we expect our community to be better? I don't understand the all for one and one for nobody helping out no one for no reason. I don't see that supporting I don't see that helpful. I don't see that helpful at all. Anyway, a physician and nurse practitioner of the same oncology practices share a patient's visit. The NPP makes a history and performs an exam. The physician also performs an exam and completes the medical decision making. Who can bill for the services? What do I have here? Do I have... Oh yeah. Wrong one. I've got this one divided up where the question's here and then our answers are going to be next. So a physician and a nurse practitioner of the same oncology practice share the same patient visit. The nurse practitioner takes the history and performs an exam. The MD performs the exam and completes the medical decision making. So apparently the MD didn't do the history, but looked over the history that the nurse practitioner did, looked over the exam, but did their own exam, and completes an MDM. Who gets to bill for this? Ooh, what's that? Oh, thank you, Anointed. You're awesome. A physician can bill only for the services the physician performed. B is the services are combined and billed under the physician if incident to require are met. An MD, an E&M visit cannot be billed since neither nurse practitioner and the physician had completed the visit with the patient. The services are combined and billed under the MPP alone. What do you guys think? Out of those options, I like to look for similarities. I see that 2 have the services here. This one starts out, the physician can only, and this one says the E&M cannot. So those look like outliers to me. They look like something, just given away. So they're asking right here, are combined to bill under the MP, or do we bill under the physician? So that's the 2 differences. They want to know if we know that guideline or not, because those are super similar and there's only one little difference. Are we billing under MD or are we billing under nurse practitioner? Nurse practitioner. Thank you guys for all the super chats today. That's so awesome. And for all the participation. She's just going to town. I have to get up in like 5 minutes to go grab that order from the order people and pass out the food to Grandma so that my demon 14-year-old children don't take away all the food from her and let her eat. I just want to make sure she gets hers that she wants. But, ooh, we got ads. I'm trying to join the YouTube thing. B is our answer. We are going to combine. That's why we're going to be able to take the nurse practitioner's history, add it to the doctor's MDM, because that nurse practitioner is working under the MDM. And we're going to be able to create a visit for the MDM, for the MD, whatever, for the MDM of their combined forces, according to, and look, isn't that so funny how I have the Reach Out Medical Learning Network? Y'all asked me about today that particular website and the courses, and the next few questions I actually got from their educational website tonight, which is really kind of cool because y'all must have been really in tune with my brain because I was fixing these questions before we went live. And then you guys asked me about the CMS Outreach Education Center. So that's crazy. Y'all got cameras in here in my room, my little office, and y'all are watching me make up questions. I just gave away another subscription, and this one comes from Anointed. Who's going to win this one? Sam did. Good job, Sam. I hope this is helpful. Yes, B is our answer. All right, the next one is documentation must identify a minimum which of the following when a resident is providing services. A resident physician is a student physician, right? Under the physical presence of a teaching physician. When a resident is working and providing services under a teaching physician, the services provided are either A or B, or I've got C and D on my next one. So A and B are resident providing the services. The physical presence of the teaching physician is understood without documentation, or the diagnosis and procedures are performed for medical necessity reasons. Here's C and D. Let me go check and see if that food is here while y'all look and see if you figure out that answer. Be right back. Hey, Sammy. welcome. You're welcome. All right. Grandma's been fed. What did you guys find for an answer for this one? We're talking about when a resident is working underneath a physician. The answer is on the screen, actually. What is the function of the pacemaker? This one, the answer is C. The services furnished no, D, the other one. The services furnished, I knew it was one of these furnished ones. See how they're both similar? Participation of the teaching physician in providing the services, whether the teaching physician was present, physically present or not. It's not the breakdown. And again, we get that from the CMS outreach education place about the facts from teaching physicians. What about services being furnished in a teaching setting are reimbursed under the Medicare fee schedule when? When services are provided by a resident with a teaching physician co-signature. Do we need that? Or when it's done jointly and the physician is present, or with a resident without a physician present, or as long as the physician's in the office suite. What do you think the answer is for this one? I think it's online pretty much any time you want to schedule. You just have to check and see. It is B. It is jointly. Normally the resident will come in, they will take a good history and maybe do a little bit of an exam, but then the resident physician will come back in, just look at the history, not ask any questions about it usually, and do more of an exam and then make a decision. Which scenario would qualify for incident to billing? That requirement that they were talking about in one of those questions, what does that mean? Is it when the nurse practitioner sees a new patient in the office without MD direction? Or was it when the PA sees an established patient for a follow-up visit in the office with the direction, supervision of a physician? When a nurse practitioner sees a patient in the hospital with direct supervision of a physician? Or when a resident sees a patient in a hospital with supervision of a teaching physician? Look for similarities in a lot of these questions or the particular answers here, and then find the one that is different. Might be a good way to look at it. We've got two that have nurse practitioner in the beginning, one that's a PA, and one's a resident. Which one could we bill? We can't bill without probably supervision. You're still waiting for AAPC to reply? The best thing to do is go on to the website and just try to schedule your exam. You'll be able to see what times and days are available. I remember there was like multiple times throughout multiple days, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays. I don't know if it was 24 hours, but I remember it probably being from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can just go look as you're trying to schedule. You don't have to schedule anything, but you could go look around and see what's available. Probably be the fastest way to find out the answer. They're all gone to Tennessee or something. They're all in convention this week. They're not going to be, no one's in the office this week. They're all off gallivanting. I heard everybody that paid for the remote watching of their seminars, they paid a lot of money for it because you get CEUs and stuff. The audio was really bad today. No one could hear, and then they couldn't get a hold of anybody because their audio feed was really bad. And so they couldn't participate, so they couldn't get their CEUs, and then they paid. It was just a hot mess today. B is your answer when the PA sees an established patient for a follow-up visit under the direct supervision of a physician. That's when we get to bill. Which statement is true regarding residents? Residents within a graduate medical education program can see patients in the absence of a teaching physician. For services billed by a teaching physician, the teaching physician is required to be present during the entire exam. The resident acts as a physician but does not require physician oversight. Oh gosh. A resident can see a patient in the absence of a teaching physician in a hospital. There's two of them that have the word absence in them, which is unusual compared to the other answers. That's what I see. We're looking for a correct answer. Which one is true? So which one of those is a true statement about a resident? Yes, these are CPC questions. Good night. Good night, Dee Dee. See you later. Up in the very front of the book, they will be describing residents, nurse practitioners, all the types of physicians that you're supposed to know about and be able to recognize which one is a qualified healthcare professional. All right, we're done with those. This example that's coming up, is it an office consultation, a subsequent hospital care, a new patient office visit, or an established patient office visit? What do you think? It's going to be multiple pages. It's going to be 3 here. So you have a 37-year-old. There's some history there. Here's her data that was reviewed. Here's her assessment. Some of that data had some nice stuff in it. Like I see echo, I see meds. And here's her assessment. So if you were looking at this visit, are you looking at an office consultation, a subsequent hospital care, a new patient office visit, or an established patient office visit? What are we looking at? What are we looking at, Miss Magpie? Got 65 of you guys in chat. If you saw this visit and were asked to bill it, what would you bill? Congratulations, Flower. I hope that membership helps you out. You have access to my book prep videos and my workshops now. You're welcome. YouTube picked the winner. We just throw the money in there. Yeah, see at the very top of this thing, it says office visit. So that lets you know, at least for one, we can get rid of subsequent hospital care, right? And then it doesn't tell you whether she's new or established. Not that I know of. Did it say anything? Patient is here today for follow-up. It does say follow-up. So that's nice. If it doesn't say anything about being new or established, you do have a default. An established patient is default. You can't bill new unless the chart says it's a new patient, just so you know. But it does say follow-up, so we know we can get rid of that. Now all we need to know is if there was an office consultation done or not. There's no CC at the bottom of the note that says, I'm going to send, my recommendation is for the patient to do this, and I'm going to send this letter to Dr. So-and-so to tell him to do that. There's no indication that this is a referral of any sort. So we will definitely be doing de-established patient for sure on this one. For the previous question, what would be the CPT code? Oh no, Jay Lewis, you don't have to put any money here at all for the drawing. No, I toss in the money myself is what I was saying, and YouTube picks a winner. I don't pick the winners. YouTube picks the winners. But no, you don't have to throw in any money. I just have some YouTube videos that are for membership only. They're videos that do page-by-page book prep in the CPT or the ICD-10 or HIPICS book. And they're videos of replays of my workshops if they're over 90 days old. And if you wanted to have access to those, You can purchase a YouTube membership, or you could win one during our lives that I do here for free. So we know they're an established patient, so right away we can get rid of A and B. So you just need to figure out if they're a 13 or a 14 based off the criteria of your MDM. So your elements of review, the problem list, the data reviewed, and the risk of doing nothing to this patient, or what you did order, makes this a C or a D situation, but which one is it? I see some people going back and forth. It is a D situation. We are an established patient. The number of complexity of problems we address today is lower extremity swelling, which is resolving. She has a chronic but stable for that. The patient also has a primary pulmonary hypertension, not primary, which is being worked up. It's a new problem of uncertain prognosis, which always throws you into moderate, right? The number of complexities of data being reviewed and analyzed today, we had the lab and the echo done, sleep study ordered. That's more than 2 items. That gets you out of low, throws you into moderate for it too. They're an established patient. We need 2 of these to match. Both of them are matching moderate anyway. So that's how we're going to bill our moderate. This is a new case. This starts out with nurse's notes. Then it goes down to physician notes. I can't remember how many pages it is. I think it might be 3 pages. But they want to know, are we minimal, low, moderate, or high with this one? There's your nurse's notes. Here's your physician notes. Here's our assessment and plan. What level are we for the number and complexity of problems being addressed in this encounter today? Are we minimal, low, moderate, or high? We have on and on, history of MRSA. They're already being seen by a specialist for chronic sinusitis. We're going to send them back to that specialist to ask for increase of meds. What do you think? Good night, Shar. See you later. Why are you going to have nightmares tonight, Vanessa? Is it MRSA? This one's B. It is low. Not a moderate for this one. We just have a patient with acute sinusitis, even though it says chronic. which requires medication. This is an acute, uncomplicated illness, according to AAPC, and they say it is to be addressed as low. I know the question up here says chronic in the history, but in the assessment, they only gave them acute sinusitis. But up here, it keeps saying she has a history of recurrent chronic sinusitis. And then they're going to send them back to the referral, but then they diagnose them with acute. It's just, I don't know. I might send that back to the physician if I was coding in real life. But because our assessment and what the physician said it's acute, even though the history says it was chronic, we need to just bill it as an acute, which means it would be low, which means that's the answer that they want for that one. Oh, you got your cup this morning, Amy? Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, the wording is confusing on that one. I think it's meant to be. I think it's meant to be a very, very tricky one. Instead of fixing all the cups and taking the word peppermint off and using that E and fixing the misspelling in the word sentence, I just mailed the cups out as they are and sent y'all the extra stickers and let y'all fix it yourselves if you want. What you doing, Lester? What you doing, Lester? Okay, Magpie. There you go. Cat wanted out. Move it, Mr. Lester. I had 2 people order my little mouse pad thing. Where did the camera go? This week off the website. So I sent the orders to Printify. They'll be printing out the mouse pads and sending them to the 2 people that ordered them. So that's super cool. I have a list. Did I get the list from you, Twinkle, of the people that won the prizes with their addresses of the workshop that we did last Sunday, and so I can mail them their prizes? I don't know if I got that email or not. I mean, not that I've looked, but I got to go look. But I know I've got to mail this prize out and those cups and the metal paper whatever thing. I don't know. I got a bunch of more stuff to mail out to some prize winners. If hopefully everybody got their addresses mailed out to everybody. But yeah, I like the little mouse pad thing. But it's going to be going out to somebody. Hopefully they claimed their prize. But it's a good one. It was cool. And then I got 2 more going out. And those give me $3 profit off of each one, which I can throw in to giving somebody either a YouTube membership or work towards paying for extra exams for somebody that's spent way too much money on multiple attempts and needs more attempts. So that's kind of cool. We'll do that. All right. We already went over that website. And I think that's my last question. I was a winner on TikTok a while ago. Aw. That's awesome, Amanda. They are cute. One of my friends, Jamie Adams, she passed her exam on Saturday. Yay! That's awesome. I was a winner. Aw. That's so exciting. I remember Jamie. There was a lot that passed in May and in April. It's been amazing. I think that's it. Is that all the questions? Yep, that's everything I had prepared today. Anybody got any questions in the last 10 minutes I have before I gotta go? My house is super quiet now. Everybody's got Panda. They're just happy they got one. I know. I feel so bad about not fixing the spelling, but I just hope they don't end up in a professional setting like in an AAPC meeting, chapter meeting with all the misspelling on it, At least fix the spelling before you take it around town. June will be a lot of people's months, that's for sure. Don't forget, AAPC has job openings too. They're looking for CPC coders. They work a lot of their jobs remotely too. There are jobs with like RadNet. You could get in with customer service and then move on to coding, even if you don't have your coding certificate yet. There's lots of remote jobs out there in the healthcare field where you're answering messages through a chat system, It's pretty cool. Good night, Cherise. Good night. You're so welcome. I'm happy to help you guys. Whatever I can do. All right. Can you explain oral contrast on page 525? 22 book. But I think I know what you're talking about. I am in the 2023 book, but I think you're talking about this sentence here. Yeah. In the radiology section, right above written reports, where it says oral or rectal contrast administration alone does not qualify as a study with contrast. That is correct. So if you're back here giving who knows what, an MRI of any joint of the upper extremity, and you give oral contrast for this, which you wouldn't for this, but it's more of like a abdominal something or another, and you use oral or rectal contrast, you're only to bill 73221. You do not bill the 222 or the 223, the one that says with or without contrast. With and without contrast. You would bill only without. Oral or rectal contrast does not mean, for billing purposes, that we are giving contrast. If it's to be billed with contrast, then that means there's an IV hooked up to the patient giving the contrast. They get paid extra money for having that IV pole hooked up to the patient given the contrast. If the patient just has to drink it, nobody gets extra money for that. And plus, if it goes up the bum, nobody gets extra money for that. The only money they get is for the IV pole, given the contrast. That's because you have a higher rate of anaphylactic shock. If you start being allergic to oral or rectal contrast, a small rash will appear, usually chest, you'll get flush. We'll recognize it in plenty of time before you have any reaction that's heart or lung needed, and we can mitigate that super easy. But when it's given intravenously in the IV, your allergic reaction time greatly increases, and once you start having an allergic reaction, the time that we need to get you meds is right then and there because we're pumping it in the IV. So most people's digestive systems are super slow to digest anything, right? So that's why you got to have some medical personnel standing by when they have the IV in them. So that's why they get the extra money. So hopefully that helps you out. That class was a nightmare for you. Oh, what class was that? Good night, Rosalie. You listen to that southern drawl. Oh my goodness, Victoria. I keep forgetting, I haven't lived in Memphis or Tennessee area since right before 9/11. Boy, it's been forever ago. So if I ever go on vacation back there, I'll come back with even more of a southern drawl. And if you remind me about it, I'll start talking about it. And it'll get thicker as the day goes on. But I forget I don't sound like everybody else. Everybody would be asking who Jen is. I think I've got kind of a bad reputation now. Everybody ought to know who I am by now. I help out way too much. I work directly with patients now. Want to work behind the scenes. I don't blame you one bit, Jen. I miss my patients, don't get me wrong, but I miss the red tape needed. I can't treat my patients as I see medically fit. I can't. I have to do what their insurance company says I can do or can't do, or my administrators at the hospital, right? Oh, it's just, it's stressful. It's way stressful. I wish the medical professionals were allowed to treat their patients as we see fit. And I understand the need to control us and not try to give our patients all the brand newest, most expensive, fancy things that are out on the market to help control costs. But I mean, there's a lot of things I can take care of with a piece of dental floss. You'd be surprised what I can take care of with dental floss on a patient. I can take care of tons of those barnacles that start growing on you and for no reasons, or the newborn babies that are born with the extra little finger on the end. There's so many things that I could take a 2-cent item and take care of that I know I wouldn't use that fancy surgery for. So I still think that we understand the reasons to curtail cost, and we can incorporate that in our patient treatments just as well, if not better, than the health plans can, I think. But they're not going to give us control over that kind of stuff anymore. Here in the United States, anyway. But I love working in Hedis measures, which are great because they are actually approved treatments for patients. So nothing is denied in what I do. Everything is about getting a patient in and getting them screened for things and recording the actual test results of what they do get done. So nothing I do hinders any sort of treatment of any sort whatsoever, and it actually ends up giving the medical groups and health plans more money to provide services for patients. So that's why I love working in Hedis measurements. There is absolutely no denial of anything for patients. So, and it is about providing more services for patients. So, more than they even want, I'm sure. Nobody wants a colorectal screening or a mammogram ever, so, that's why I like it. I can work in that. I've done the pocket prep questions, yes. I think if you do those, it's a great way to pay attention to the answers, see what page numbers they're telling you to go to, use those page numbers to go find why the answer is what it is. What are they alluding to? What in that page number are they saying the answer is? Because that's super helpful. Like the answer to this question right here, they'll tell you that the answer is here on 521 in the 2023 book. They won't tell you where. You got to go look this whole thing up. And then you'll find eventually that last sentence in this guideline right above the written report that says oral and rectal contrast administration. It'll force you to go find the correct guideline to answer that question if you pay attention to those. And you've got 500 questions, all with the page number of the CPT book of where the exact answer is. That'll help you learn how to use the CPT book more efficiently so that you can find answers during your exam all on your own without anybody's help. That's what I like about Pocket Prep, and I like the fact that their questions are in a APC format. Some are easier, some are harder. They're a good gamut, a good range. And for $14, and you can go in there and copy, paste all the questions and the rationale into a Word document. I didn't say that out loud. And then cancel your subscription. $14 for 500 questions with page numbers on it and complete rationales. It's a fantastic price. All right, kid. And for those that missed, tomorrow, Travis has a doctor's appointment in Kingman, which is an hour away from me. His appointment's at 4:30. And I have to leave here at 2:30 to be there. We won't get done out of Dr. Lafredo's office till probably 5:30 because she's a super busy pediatrician. And then it's an hour drive home. So I cannot do a live on Tuesday, and I can't do it on Wednesday because the boys are graduating junior high school. And their graduation event starts at 5:30. It's over with at 6:15, but then I got to drive home, feed the kids. They're going to be a nightmare. I won't have prep time between working all day Tuesday at my real job and Wednesday all day. I don't have any material prep, so I can't go live on Wednesday either. I will go live on Thursday, though. So that will be when I see you guys next. I hope this has been helpful. My kids will be home for the rest of the summer, but at least the baseball season's over with and the graduation and all that stuff for a couple of months. But I do have a trip to go see my mother's brother. They want all the siblings to get together one more time because they're all getting really old. My mom's 71 this year. Her brother is 70 in June, on June 10th, and then Aunt Debbie's the oldest at 73, I think, this year, and then Aunt Candy is the youngest at 66 this year. So they all want to meet, and because this might be their last year. So we're going to fly to Texas June 8th through the 13th. So those dates, I'll be going to Texas to let my mom see her siblings again. Hopefully not the last time, but we are being realistic. So while everybody's healthy enough to travel and get there, we're trying to make that happen for her. So we're going to do that coming up. So I'm sorry about the sporadicness of some of this, but it's just life. And I love you guys. And I will see you guys on Thursday. And yes, let me give you the link for Discord real quick. Where's my Discord link? Outreach, training, Discord. Discord is a great place when I'm not around. Be sure and go into the Discord room that shows you how to work Discord. I have some videos in there. I'll show you the ins and outs of Discord. It's tons of practice rooms, tons of exam rooms. Each book has its own room. If you have a question about a CPT code, it has a room. If you have a question about ICD-10 code, it has a room for that. So utilize those rooms. You can also search the back history of 2 years worth of information and search your question and find tons of answers in lots of rooms too there. So super helpful.